Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this week's podcast/vodcast with our special guest being Nathan Blewitt. And this episode is going to be somewhat of a special one in the sense that our guest is also going to be my co-host of this evening. And halfway through the episode, I'm going to stop interviewing him, and he's going to start interviewing me about a different topic that the first part will be about. So I'm hoping you look forward to this somewhat twist on the normal podcast.
Yeah,
Welcome, Nathan Blewitt.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, so the topic I wanted to talk about you in the first part of this episode is the Super League, the Modern Super League that you've started up. And this season you have decided not to actually play in the Super League itself.
Yep.
Why did you do that? Why did you choose not to play?
So when I was doing the standard, so for starters, the modern one was always going to be bigger. We knew that was how it was going to happen. It was going to be more popular. So going into it, I knew that it was going to be more work, which is a big reason for it. So me not having just the time to actually play games and plan and do whatever else is a big factor of it. But it's also, I found when I was doing the standard Super League, people would be like, because I was the one that they were contacting for bans and whatever else, but I was also on the team, so they'd be like, oh, blah blah blah. So they were just trusting my integrity, and I don't know, I just felt weird, even though I was being legit about it. I still felt weird being
that is
being the moderator at the same time. So
that is something that was kind of weird for me as well. Like when I was playing against your team, also like the weeks before we were kind of chatting, like giving out information, and it was like, yeah, that week we're going to play against a team that already has heard quite a bit about our stories.
Yeah, like I literally,
but
anything that was discussed in any of the chats with anybody, I literally didn't bring it up with my team. The conversation amongst our team was actually very little, except for to go, oh, who's playing now? So there wasn't too much to talk about in terms of that. But yeah,
it's somewhat similar to the situation that I had during this first week where I was playing, where I would start playing, and then I had a deck that was apparently banned, but there was a miscommunication. So yeah, that was like
stuff up.
Yeah, okay, it's not that big of a thing that happened here, but I have information I shouldn't have, and I feel really queasy about it.
That was 100% my bad. It's just the confusion because like I'm in 10 different chats with 30 different people.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that happens, and it's like a minor mistake, but yeah, it was just a couple of altercations, and then they started thinking that you were on the team because we were hashtag Team League mods, or like saying, yeah, should get a lot of disadvantages, but
and like, he's not even on the team. It's like, what? He's not? It's like, no, he's not playing. But yeah,
so that was kind of funny. Yeah, we eventually went with a solution that actually worked well. We created enough confusion so that we didn't actually know what deck they were going to bring. And they eventually brought the same deck as that they originally brought, but I also didn't tell any of my teammates, and we made a decision regardless of that, because actually at the beginning, we already thought like we're going to play 5-color humans or Amulet Titan. And then apparently 5-color humans was banned, so they would play Amulet Titan.
I'm really bummed you guys didn't get to record your games though, because that would have been good.
Oh yeah, we completely forgot about that. So about this general Super League though, we've got, as you said, a lot of teams, 10 teams in the Super League this time around. Did that exceed your expectations, or were you actually thinking that it would become this big with Modern as a format?
I was expecting it to be big, but like even after the sign up, and I think we were sitting at 6 teams for a while, and then it just kept coming into like the last minute. Someone's like, "Oh, I want to be part of this. I want to be part of this. I want to be part of this." And it just kept happening right up until people signed up, and I was like, "Oh, I can't do it if we haven't got another team." And then I was cutting it off, but then it turned into. Sorry, just a sec.
Yeah, I think we had like 8 teams, and then it was like, yeah, we can't do that unless we've got like another team. We fill up your team, and then we have another team after that, and like 3 hours later, we had 2 extra teams.
Yeah, because
That's really
there's a
crazy.
couple of people that were on like a reserve list in case people dropped out, but then there ended up being enough people that were like, yes, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, if you're gonna do it, you're on a team, and these 3 are on a team, and yeah, so it
Yeah.
ended up working out pretty good. Because with the standard league, I think there was only 6 teams, so there's an extra
Yeah.
so then an extra 12 people have joined this league, which was really good.
Yeah, I mean, each team is like 3 people, so it really is a lot.
And
And,
especially only being the second time this league's actually been run, or this style has
Yeah,
been run.
yeah, this style of league, because the regular league has had quite a lot of time to actually grow onto people.
Yeah.
In comparison to this one.
But no,
And
should be good.
yeah, definitely going to be interesting. And my next question is actually like, which teams do you think are some of the more competitive ones? What are there any like more casual and brew heavy teams that like have the tendency for not playing net decks but like original strange decks that we might want to actually watch just because it's interesting?
So I've done the video that has everyone's deck lists on it with the images, and if you actually look at it, it really just looks like a top 8 parade of all the. It's just like everyone's playing a Jeskai control, everyone's playing a 5-color humans, everyone's playing either a variant of Tron or a Storm deck or Pyromancer, which was a little disappointing to see everyone do the same thing. But so obviously people are taking it pretty seriously, so they want to be running competitive decks. But yeah, I was a little bit disheartened to see so many people doing that. But like then you've got people like in Cheetown sits. Evan Bello, obviously he's going to be playing Tron, so it was good to see him getting a chance to. He's going to be playing his pet deck, and then you've got on Team Infect, because it's the same team. They got the band back together from Standard Super League, and they did. So they're doing the modern as well, and they're actually running 2 different Living End decks in their lineup, and one of them's a mono blue that I've never seen before. It's actually pretty cool.
Oh wait, yeah, like is it Living End with the enchantment that can let you cast things for free, or
with As Foretold? So you play As Foretold and then immediately play Living End because you can play it for nothing.
Yeah, I have also heard that one of the teams has gone for the really combo strategy, like all combo decks, and like try controlling us, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I haven't got them here right now, but I was looking at them earlier. If I should just be able to get them up. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean they said it was all control, but there was also all combo, but there was also one combo and one Tron deck, and then I think it was a 5-color humans. But it was kind of interesting because it's also a certain strategy you can pick with this kind of format, is that you go all in on one kind of strategy, that you don't like try to have answers for everything, but try to make it impossible to have answers to you.
Yeah, Boggles is another one that come up a lot, but yeah, I was actually pretty surprised with that. Are you talking about? I think it's Jank Assault that are running not so much combo decks, but pretty janky in terms of lineup.
Oh yeah,
because they've got 8 rack, they've got Lantern Control, they've got Mono Red Prison, they've got the Humans deck and a Storm deck. So that's their like standard kind of competitive decks.
Yeah.
And then they're also running Ponza, which they actually in this today they actually did some serious work with Ponza. So it's going to be the deck to watch for them. I think would be the Ponza deck. But Lantern Control is just Lantern Control. So if people can answer it, then yeah, I don't see it doing too much. I was a bit sad to see the Team Infect weren't actually running an Infect deck.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of true.
Not to say that Infect isn't in the league. I'm pretty sure there's actually a couple of Infect decks in, which again should be good to see because I like them. But looking at Team Fresh Beats, they're running a Black-White Soul Sisters deck, which they.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool. Like to
really
see it,
cool.
Soul Sister.
I want to see it played. I don't think they picked it for this week.
Yeah, we'll try to record our matches against them following week. Maybe they'll play it.
Oh the other one that I was really excited about seeing was on Team Dark Horse is a Blue-Black Fairies deck.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be really good. I can't wait to see that played. That's going to be good.
Yeah, so definitely some decks to watch out for
there's
on the recording.
Yeah, some ones that are just way off the tangent that you haven't seen for ages, or just obviously people's pets decks, but it should be some pretty good stuff to see. So as far as so let's just talk about the list. Sorry, but to actually talk about the teams, my picks for teams as far as competitive teams go would probably be Team League Mods, just because you're all ex-champions. I think you guys are probably right up there. Team Infect are probably going to be another one to watch because they've got some pretty good scores coming out of Standard, and they know how this format works. They've already done it before, so they'll probably be one to watch for a bit. The only other one that I think, like if I was to name three, would probably be Cheetown Siths with Paul. I can't remember the names that are on the list now. Was looking at them just before. Sorry.
No problem. Sorry.
That's a phone.
Yeah. That's me being called. It's a wrong moment.
Modern Super League. I've got the names here. So Cheetown Siths is Paul Reynolds, Evan Bello, and Christopher Suarez. So that should be another team to watch, I think.
Yeah, I don't really recognize the names, but that could be like that's from the American leagues, right?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Evan and Paul are both really good performers in the American leagues. Like, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure I've seen them pop up a whole lot of times. So.
That could definitely be. So it's one thing I also want to ask is what are some changes structurally compared to the first Super League? Not of course that it's a different format, and what do you think has been improved compared to before? Which systems or rules have been tweaked?
So I've turned it into the way that so when we did the first league, the standard one, it was a real crash test in terms of trying to alter what was already a recognised format to a lot of people watching the modern Super Leagues through Goldfish and whatever else. But we couldn't really, the way the group is, we couldn't really do that and still have it work properly because of all the time differences. So we've got to have like more leeway for like if people can't play, you can sub people in. It's all stuff that we developed through going into the end of the last league that is now starting off as in effect now. So it's just stuff that is like already locked in. The time stuff, doing the player pack. So I've got all the information already there. I've got all the lists already there. Everything's just I've just been a real stickler for getting everything organised, getting everything up and ready and available, and then just being real anal about people getting all their shit together so that we can actually get the stuff out on time. So just organisation more than anything has just gone up to like the next level for me, so that I could actually get it all done. But in terms of changes, it's just implementing the same stuff that we had come to the agreement at the end of the last one, which is it should work.
Yeah, because a couple of things like couldn't be changed at the end of the season anymore, like submitting the list at the beginning of the season and then just sticking with those lists. But I do think that's quite a big improvement on the administrative side. And also, I didn't really feel like changing decks mid-season was really doing that much to make the league more interesting.
Well, that's the thing too. Like I found from the moderator's point of view that every week they were putting up the same list, but they're only changing like one or two cards, and it was just more of a pain in the ass for me because every week I'd have to do another deck list video just to show the tweaks, and it ended up being two or 3 weeks where I just couldn't keep up because it was just me doing everything plus trying to do all the extra videos, and it's like, nah, I can't do it. So it's just easier this way. Like
and actually I think right now with the system we have a very interesting new aspect to the game where every week we can look at which 6 decks they can choose from, and we can choose which deck are we going to leave out based on which decks they have. So that brings even more strategy into it. And to be honest, I really liked that the first week. Because, yeah, we decided to not play a certain deck because it had worse matchups than the other decks. So that's really a pretty cool thing to think about. It's thinking further than you normally would.
Yeah, and like you can look as far into the future as like you can be midway through the season and see that you're playing someone right at the end of it and already see how they've been performing, because I'm working on doing all the same stat stuff that I was doing for the first one. The Excel sheet I've got is sexy as hell. It's got so much bloody content going into it. It's huge. But yeah, so it's gonna have the win percentages. It's gonna have all the game wins, all the match wins, all the losses, the win loss percentage, the overall scores, and it's just gonna be So having all that there is good. But it's just a pet thing that I like doing, and it's gonna have all the deck stats as well, like what are the favorite decks, who's playing what deck, and like how you can see how they go.
Yeah. So, what are the favorite decks? Jeskai Control. But yeah, definitely going to be interesting though. But because that's also one of the good things about you not playing is that we actually have time for that shit.
Yeah, the only thing that I think I might get stuck with is if people start sending AP videos and I'm the only one going to be doing. If I end up being the only one commentating them, is going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no, I think I'll be commentating as well. But lately I've been busy and I need a fucking second screen, to be honest. Because before I've been using my TV, not the most handy setup there is. So I'm going to need to.
Those videos were awesome though, where you're like sitting back on the couch, you're just like, yep, no, that you shouldn't play like that.
Yeah, it was kind of casual.
Full sprawled out on the couch, just sitting.
Yeah, another video where I was like eating still, like, yeah, I'm hungry. I know I shouldn't do this, but fuck it, I'm hungry.
Yeah, that's good. I had a laugh.
Okay, yeah, that's good. And then actually, we kind of stumbled on the last question pretty properly. On another note, you have your channel that has been steadily accruing content, mostly through deck techs and stuff like that. And are there any things you have planned for the future, and is there something that you would like to improve on your channel?
With my channel?
Yeah.
I don't know. I need people to like sub so that they can see it. Basically, if they can sub it, see it, and then comment on it at the end of my videos, so I can get that feedback. Because like all the feedback that I've gotten, I've taken in, and I've been constantly improving the quality of the videos. Like I've worked on my lighting, and I've worked on how I'm talking, and like I'm not doing a script or anything. It's all just me talking. I'm not reading off a script anymore, because when I was, it sounded really fake. So I've just got the Xmage open in front of me, and I'm just talking about the decks. But and I'm also working on doing more brews, because people are real sensible when it comes to that stuff. But
oh man, I loved Natchew's comment where like I gave this brew a like because existing deck did not because an existing deck did not immediately spring to mind.
Yeah. But also because I've actually got like 3 or 4 decks that I really want to do some videos on, but I haven't had a chance because I'm doing this. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to get a chance to do it. But yeah.
Are those like brews from the previous standard, or have they actually already got M19 in them?
I've got some old ones and some M19 ones, because M19 hit and I just went kind of crazy putting decks together. As soon as I found out, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. Decks. So.
Picking up. Yeah. Yeah. I get the brewing fever once a new set hits.
I want to work on getting a couple of videos out every week. Is like a goal, and improving it's only going to happen if people can leave comments and let me know what they think. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far, and the feedback I'm getting is pretty good. And I'm also getting I fairly shamelessly put one of my Flamer Keld. I don't know if you saw the Flamer Keld gameplay and the deck that I did for the Flamer Keld burn.
Yeah, I think you did.
I did that deck, and then after I did the deck, and like it was just after I posted it, I realized that Saffron Olive from Goldfish actually did almost identical deck. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait. I'm like, no, his went out first. His went out first. I just didn't see it. It's like, I'm like, god damn. The Flame of Kel deck. I posted it in the description of, in the comment section of his video, saying, oh my god, this looks like almost just like mine, and then posted it in the comments, and then it ended up blowing up the views on my one. I got like 600 views from it, so it was pretty funny to see. But I got positive feedback on it.
That's pretty nice, yeah.
And people have actually been playing my decks in the league too.
That was kind of... Yeah, that was actually kind of funny. Like one game where you had Jorah mirror of your deck.
Yeah, Dave actually thanked me. He's like, dude, this deck is wicked. I've actually been winning games with it. I'm like, cheers, man. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's just has one like major weakness, which is kind of irritating. But
its major strength and its weakness is Jorah.
I mean, it's control, which I would say like is its weakness, because I don't really like pick off the major parts of it, and then you've got, just counter spells.
If I had, unfortunately, I'm not going to be playing in the standard league, but I would have been playing the mono green elf build that I beat Felix with. I would have played it the whole way through, because I've been winning every game with that deck. It is actually insane.
Awesome.
I can't remember the last time I lost a game.
How is the addition actually of the mono green enchantment that I suggested, or had you already thought of that before?
Sandworm Convergence.
Yeah, Sandworm Convergence. I remember like you were playing first green-white versions, and then a green-white version, and then I said like you should stop with the white thing, just put Sandworm Convergence in.
Yeah.
And then
because I just swapped out approaches for Sandworms, and then got rid of
much better wink on.
Yeah. It just works better because like you're not having to rely on getting all white, and people always seem to have an answer to approach, but they're not really expecting a Sandworm Convergence after you've played all these creatures. But yeah, the deck just comes out of nowhere, and they're like, oh, what's this elf shit? And the next minute they just get the absolute crap beat out of them. So
yeah. And one lovely thing is like, oh yeah, I can't block flyers. Fuck it, Sandworm Convergence. They can't attack anymore.
It's like, oh, okay, I don't mind. Swing in with an army of 5/5s. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. So, I think I've pretty much asked all my questions, because my last question was, were you excited about brewing with M19?
I was,
obviously.
I was very excited. I just got to talk about with Arcadis. As soon as that came out, I put a deck together because there's just enough defenders in the new set to actually put a decent deck together. It ends up being just a defender like banned deck, but built on a blue-white control shell, and it's actually really, really strong. It's pretty funny. And then the other one I was really excited about, I've played against Matt a few times, and he pretty much hates it, is the green-white auras in standard.
Oh, that has to do with Enchanter, right?
There's these. It's a Satyr that it's for 3 or 2/2. Whenever you play an enchantment, you draw a card, as well as
I think it's
Dathena or Dathria or whatever her name is, the one that makes your auras one less.
So I've also actually done a bit with M19. I've made Multani Scape Shift, which is pretty funny.
I tried to get a deck like that going, and it just kept getting answered. Every time I tried to deck test it, it was just getting put it up against heavy control, and I couldn't do anything. I was like,
against heavy control, I side out Multani. I bring in extra Banefire, and I beat him like that. It's pretty funny. Also, I bring in negates because it's Simic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Demir, but yeah. So the burn spells are big ways, especially Banefire, because it can't be countered.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. So going on to what is the second part of this video now is me asking some questions to you. So you've been an active member of the group for a long time, as well as a moderator. Do you feel you get as much back from the group as you put in?
To be honest, not really, because we put in lots of fucking work as the moderators of groups. Like, not only me, but also Matthew. Yeah. And we do get a lot of from the group, and I really like the group, and that's why I put that much effort into it. But it's just, it's not on parity, because organizing everything and trying to get everything together sometimes just like hits nothing. Like first there are a lot of people excited for it, and then it's not on the right time, or you can't get people together, and that's kind of irritating.
Yeah.
But in general, like it's definitely worth it, and I don't think if I do that stuff again, I'm still doing that stuff. So, but it's not on parity, I'd say.
You recently organised the Standard League. Why did you choose Standard over other formats?
Yeah, actually, because there has been like talking about just a separate league for one format, but the one that really went going was the thread about Standard League, because someone else actually asked about it first. I think it was Anthony Barone. We made a post like asking, can we have a Standard League? And I think there were also posts like that about Modern League, but they didn't really get that much response, much comments, as I did when I said like, yeah, I'd be fine with organizing this one. And like before I actually started announcing it, and just from that thread alone, I already had 6 European players and 6 American players, excluding myself. So that was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that's kind of answered my next question of the Standard League. Has it had much interest, and how many players have you got? So...
Yeah, I think it's gotten quite a lot of interest. Like I think it's been pretty successful, especially for the first installment of like just a normal league. I was actually somewhat expecting it. Like I was thinking 6 players was kind of the maximum for the leagues, and then it grew to 8 in the American division. It was going to grow to 8 in the European division for a while as well, but eventually I decided like not to have an uneven number. I dropped it down to 6, and I chose not to play in the league. But I think it's pretty big actually for the first time. We've already got like that's 14 players. That's quite a lot.
I mean, it's no modern Super League, but it's a pretty big.
Yeah, like you got 2 less, but almost the same amount of numbers in like at the end of the site.
Yeah, no, it was
still.
At least we're getting people actually interested in doing these leagues, which is the biggest part about it, is everybody just participating and being a part of it. And as long as we've got people like us that are willing to organise it, it's just going to make the group better.
And I think, like, going back on the first question, the league structure is actually better just because it not only generates more response, but it's also more... like it doesn't require that much administration as, for example, the community events did in the beginning, or like what we tried to do in the really early beginning was like weekly tournament. That just didn't fucking work. So the only problem is like limited, that you kind of do want to still have a one-time thing about, because you want to draft with 8 people. But for the constructed events, I think the proposed mini leagues might actually be a good solution.
Looking at the... do you feel that after this Standard League that you'll switch to another format and try and do a league with it? Or are you going to stay with Standard and see if it becomes more popular the second time around?
I think I'll actually make a poll about it, because this is also on the same point of time as your Super League is, like in between leagues, so it's kind of a break league. It's not really the regular league, so I'm not expecting it to also make it as long as normally. But one of the things that I'm not actually sure whether we'll actually have another installment of this kind of like formats separated league, because the thing I'm really excited about testing out is making the constructed cups into what I called mini league. Someone else proposed it. That's basically just, it will be very short leagues that are Swiss styled, so like 3 to 4 weeks, with various formats depending on what people choose in the polls. So the first one we might try out, for example, is the Mobile Basic League, because the Mobile Basic Cup hasn't fired properly due to my failure of organizing that properly. Because I was fucking busy this month.
Yeah. So you participated in the Standard Super League, and that was held during the break of the player leagues. You've joined the now modern Super League. What's your interest in it, in the Super Leagues as a thing, and what's your favorite part about it?
Favorite part is probably the team. It's just the team effort that goes into it. Like you kind of want to win together. You're making an effort, and you're chatting about like which strategies are we going to take. That's all really enjoyable, and probably one of the other things that really mostly is the reason why I always in Super Leagues is every time there's a mob, like both times it was a Super League, it took like 1 or 2 minutes before Felix said, "Hey Wim, do you want to play?" It's like, yeah, teaming up with Felix is always a good idea, because he's like he was really, especially the previous like third and fourth season of the regular league, he was my biggest rival in the standard, like in the regular league in the European division. So being able to play with him kind of feels really nice, because it's like turning rivalry into comradeship, and that's just an awesome thing, to be honest.
And I think I've taken your seat into making him a rival just because I want to be able to beat that top. And I was pretty happy to pull a standard win in the league against him with a deck that I'd brewed, and then unfortunately Modern didn't turn out so well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty friendly, I think, especially in the Euro League.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good league, because it's not only with Felix that I have this, but also with Luca, for example. I've developed a friendly kind of rivalry, because he was the one. I think he was the one who won the previous league where I wasn't present. So then there was like kind of tension, like I wasn't present anymore. So now I need to see whether he beats me or beats him. That was kind of funny. But we also were like saying like, yeah, we need to have Felix, Luca, and me in as a top 3, and then we're all in the finals, and that will be awesome. Sadly, there has been some problems on Luca's end to get his games in because of family issues. But before that, it was really like looking like it was going to be Felix first, Luca second, and me third. And I was like trying to get in second still, but we'll see about that.
Just on a final point here of my questions that I've got. So now, not only did you participate in with your team as Team 1 in the Standard League, and then you won the whole damn thing, but you had some impressive results from Euro Division's boogeyman, Felix Stanitzer. So he finished the Standard Super League with the most games won and the least losses. Now going into the Modern League with him and Matt by your side, do you feel like, because it's Modern over Standard, do you consider him to be your Team League mod secret weapon?
Still kind of, yeah. Like it was actually somewhat funny about the first week was that he was, because I wasn't able to play with the deck that I was normally choosing. We chose him to play the first deck, and I was somewhat like already expecting like, yeah, Felix is on it. We probably don't need to play anymore. And then I saw that he was double queuing. He was also playing his legacy game at the same time with Luca, and I was like, man, it's Felix. It'll be fine. Eventually he lost, and I was like, oh, this is disappointing. But I still feel like, yeah, he's definitely one of our key card, like our trump card almost. But in general, I think we've really done a good job in selecting good players. Of course, like I can talk about myself, which is kind of weird, but I did pretty well for Modern. I have been doing well as well, and the third member, Matthew Tones, has one of the highest scores of. I think he's really got the highest score of Modern in the American Division 1, so that's the more competitive division that has been doing really well in. So yeah, in a certain way, Felix is a secret weapon, but in another way, we kind of have a team full of secret weapons.
Yeah.
Like each and every one of us has been picked.
Bringing back the hashtag. What was it? What was it? Team, not the.
Wait, yeah.
Called you guys.
Hashtag not super team.
Yeah, not the super team.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But because yeah, and one of the things that's also really fun is that with Felix on our team, he's got a real competitive spirit, and that brings out the same in me. So if I would actually participate in a standard league, I probably wouldn't be as competitive as I am in the regular league or in the thing, because I would just like say, time to jank out, time to just make crazy M19 brews and just lose a lot with a fun deck. That wouldn't really matter. And with the Modern Super League right now, it's like, because I want us to do well, because we've definitely got the potential to do so. I'm also like more discussing strategies and like what decks are we going to play. I chose not to play any of my crazy modern janks, which I actually play quite a lot in the league, which I also beat Felix with. I beat Felix with Mana Bear 8 Whack the second time around. It was kind of revenge for the first time we faced, where I tried to go mono green elves, like mono green in the first standard match, and I just didn't draw well. I lost super hard, and I played Abzan elves against him in modern, which was a deck that I did really well with the previous seasons, but I haven't touched it after that first game against Felix because it just performed fucking horribly. And then like Legacy, he was playing lands against me on the Reanimated, because I don't know another Legacy deck. Sorry about that. But yeah, I just completely lost. So it kind of felt good to, like, in this last week, I managed to take standard with. It was definitely a janky deck. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it was blue green Karn, which is not really that's good a deck, or they don't really see that as that good a deck anymore. But I kind of love the deck and how it plays, and I don't like how Blue-Eyed Control plays because it takes too long. I mean, I am playing it on Magic the Gathering Arena, but fuck that shit. I've grown bored of it. I don't really like how Mono Red or Red Black plays. It's not really that much of my style anymore. And Blue Green Karn is just the right amount of synergies and like building up stuff that I really like, and so I've decided to play that. I have played that a bit in standard, but I have been changing a lot this season, like between decks. And then in modern, I played the Mana Bear 8 Whack with the deck. I also submitted for the brew contest of modern, which was also really fun idea. But and it won from him, so that was kind of fun. I think it was against KCI, and I had lots of pressure and artifact removal, so that was fun.
Yeah, so I think we're just about wrapped up for time now. So
yeah, I think we've got a decent time. Right, so me and my co-host Nathan Blewitt are hereby signing off from the vodcast/podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.